Welcome for the second segment of Trips and Traps. I'm Andy Serling, joined by Eric Donovan. We're going to be showing a few races from last week, go over some trips, a little different than the first week segment.
Yeah, a little bit different. We still have a good amount of young horses, some first-time starters that managed to get themselves into a little bit of trouble. Also, some older horses we'll take a look at as well, and kind of a race day on Sunday where you thought maybe the outside was the best place to be.
Yeah, it seemed like the races sort of had an outside flow on Sunday, and we'll discuss that and talk about exactly what we're talking about when we get to those races. But we're starting with one from Wednesday that you picked out.
Yeah, this was on the 17th, race number 2. It's a maiden special weight for New York bred fillies. We're taking a look at the one horse on the rail. That's My Anguilla, going out for the Bruce Levine barn. They paid a good amount of money for her, $220,000, but she's in a spot here where she's got a chase down inside. We're going to slow it down a little bit here, and things are going to get real tight for her down inside. You're going to see her check and steady out of there and lose about 3 or 4 lengths, maybe even more out of the whole process here when you see it run. Here comes the hard steady with Abarcoa up, and that's going to cost My Anguilla, I'd say 4 or 5 lengths probably when all is said and done. It's just generally a tough spot for a first-time starter to be.
Yeah, I mean, not only the horse steady, it's hard to gauge exactly 2 to 3 lengths or so, but then drops back even further, and you have a horse that was absolutely in a contending position, and now look where the horse is, completely out of the race. And the other thing to remember is Abarcoa knows this, and this is a first-time starter. It's not there at this point. This horse is hopelessly beaten. So we'll see what happens from then on as they head into the stretch now.
Yeah, he's down on the inside, or she's down on the inside, rather, just staying down there. And you know what? It isn't giving up. It seems like she's trying to run on her own. Doesn't look like Abarcoa is asking her to do too much. You got a little bit of tap of the whip there, but coming down the stretch, it looks like more of an educational experience than anything else for My Anguilla after that trouble down on the inside on the backstretch here. And like I said, she's a Cherokee run. They paid her $220,000 for Bruce Levine. Not really known for prowess with first-time starters. Probably a horse that is good to look out for a second time out.
Yeah, and this horse also did not take much money in the window, which I thought was obviously a negative for her that day. And all things considered, I also think that she ran well in this race. And with the trouble, now the trouble will show up and people will see it, but Bruce Levine does well with his first-time starter. The second time they run, he shows a lot of improvement, and I'm not going to be surprised to see this horse run a lot better the second time out, and I think she'll do very well. We'll move on to another race from the 17th, and it's the 5th race, and it was a 7-furlong sprint for maiden claimers, and a number of different things happened in this race. First of all, we're going to focus on the 5 Weather Watcher. And we're going to slow it down. You'll see the purple silks. The horse is about 3rd from last. We're going to try to highlight the horse, but what happens, there she is. She broke a little bit slowly here, very quickly recovers, and gets herself into a good spot down the backstretch.
Yeah, I mean, she does make I thought, you could argue this is a little bit of a premature move, but she's going to end up in behind a 3-way pace battle here. And, generally, not considering that the horse got off bad, generally this is the spot where you'd want to be in these kind of races.
No doubt about it. I mean, she's in a good spot here. So a little trouble, but all things considered, it theoretically worked out well for her. But as we're going to see, as they head around the turn, she ends up making, I felt, a very aggressive, premature move. These turf races, and you'll see it very much in this one, are not won around the turn, and the jockey sends her into almost a commanding lead into the stretch.
Yeah, you had 5-pound bug Sebastian Morales on her this day, and you got to think that maybe this might be a little bit more of an inexperienced thing. Another horse we're going to take a look at in the race here is the number 3, Magnificent Truth. Has had a bunch of chances. She's 0 for 10, but she gets in a little bit of trouble here as we turn for home. She's in a good spot in here, but things are going to close up for her. There's really not too many places for her to go in the stretch.
Yeah, this is Magnificent Truth, and you're going to see right here as you've been watching her, she is absolutely caught in a pocket behind horses, and the jockey cannot ride her at all, and steadies her right in here. It's not an abrupt steady, but this is a horse, and you can say the race dynamics were working out for her, which is a negative, but she absolutely got caught in traffic, and it's not so clear, and she not got the clear run that the winner and second horse got, that she wouldn't have been much, much closer in here. I also felt another horse in here, the 8 horse, Trickable, ran well considering the way the race dynamics went. And when we say race dynamics, it's the way the race flowed. In other words, was there a lot of speed in front, which hurt the speed horses, or was there no speed, which hurts the closers? In this case, you clearly saw a competitive pace. It hurt Weather Watcher making that early move here and worked in the favor of the horses closing. And Trickable actually dueled early. Horses passed it, came on again, and took the lead in the stretch. So I thought that she ran well, but I think the ones that we showed are the 2 to watch out of the race.
Yeah, I'd especially keep an eye out for Weather Watcher, who was a first-time starter in that race. Like I said, Magnificent Truth has had 10 starts already, so days are wearing thin on her to get through a maiden claiming race here in New York before she's got to go out of town and get that done. So of all those horses, I'd be most looking forward to watching Weather Watcher again.
I agree, and Magnificent Truth, you do have to remember we've got an 0 for 10, 0 for 11 right now, but I think that she'll look worse in her PPs than than she should look. And now we'll go on to our third race, we're going to go forward to the 20th on Saturday, and we're going to take a look at the second race and the 4 Buddy Song.
Buddy Song's behind horses, the number 4 horse in the blue and white blocks. You're going to see Buddy Song just not get off to the most alert of beginnings. He's a first-time starter by Unbridled Song from the Bruce Levine barn. Just kind of falls out of the race here. Doesn't have too much early speed in this spot. And this was a very good-looking maiden special weight race. Brave Victory was the big favorite, coming off of 2 second-place finishes at Saratoga. Some big-name first-time starters in here, or second-time starter rather, Florentino, who figured to take some money in this spot as well.
Yeah, he did not perform at all. Brave Victory was very impressive here. I think got a buyer figure of 93 for this effort, and looking for him stakes down the road, maybe the Nashua and even Remsen. Also, you've got Mayor Marv, a Bob Baffert second-time starter, took a lot of money. You can see him in the orange silks in the far outside, moving about 5th. He makes an early wide move, though I'm not sure wide wasn't an okay place to be a lot of the week at Belmont, though the rail was fine on Saturday. And it's going to take a while before actually the horse we're talking about, Buddy Song, finally comes in. And don't be deceived, this horse is way back right now, and after that steady, this horse had no speed, was taken wide, and he's not even in the picture yet. That's not him moving. That's him all the way back in last there on the outside, about the 3 or 4 path, and he was there. We have him circled. He was about 3 or 4 wide down the backstretch and just basically eliminated the start.
Pretty much, and considering that Brave Victory ran so well in the spot, Brave Victory runs off to win by 7 1/4 lengths. It's a big margin back to Buddy Song in 5th. Buddy Song is going to be beaten about 11 1/2 lengths, I would say, when all is said and done here. But it's not the kind of running line that is going to take money next time out, because the horse really was never in contention, never probably closer than 10 lengths to the pace.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that this is another Bruce Levine horse in his second start will improve, and considering the break and the fact that it was a very good race, I am not going to be at all surprised when Buddy Song runs a dramatically improved effort the next time he shows up. That does it for our first half of our show. We do have an email address. I swear we have it. There it is, tripsandtraps@nairainc.com. Had a little trouble with it last week. Have it straightened out, hopefully. So just get those emails coming. We really want to hear your thoughts on what we had to say. Disagreements are great, and we'd love to hear if you have some races that come up in the following week that you'd like us to talk about in the next show. We'll be back with the second half. Please stick around.